21st of November 2023. Welcome to Somalia's premier #1 station for news and updates, Dalsan TV. I'm your presenter, Abdurrahman Yusuf. Tonight, we have a couple of stories lined up for you, but kindly first have a look at some of our top stories. Ethiopia set to enhance support for Somali refugees through key reforms. UK announces a £100 million grant for Somalia for development projects. Somalia enforces TikTok, Telegram, 1xBet ban. Somalia allocates budget for 3,000 new teachers in 2024. Glad to have you back. Now let's delve into our full bulletin. The Refugee and Returnee Service has undertaken a series of significant legal and policy reforms to support the Somali refugees in Ethiopia, according to Musalem Desta, Deputy Director of the General of the Refugee Returnees System. The Refugees and Returnees Service has undertaken a series of significant legal and policy reforms to support Somali refugees in Ethiopia, according to Musalem Desta, Deputy Director General of the Refugee Returnees Service. A crucial ministerial meeting is scheduled for Thursday after a group of technical experts in Addis Ababa examined the Intergovernmental Authority and Development Support Platform and the execution of Nairobi Declaration's Plan of Action. Since it was endorsed in March 2017, the Nairobi Declaration has been important because it focuses on long-term solutions and the reintegration of Somali refugees. The regional strategy has been in place since the 2017 IGAD Special Summit, which is centered on long-term solutions for Somali refugees, and the reintegration of returnees in Somalia was emphasized by Mohammed El Doma of IGAD Social Development Unit. The goals of the meeting are to assess the progress made on the Nairobi Declaration, approve South Sudanese and Sudanese displacement strategies, and evaluate the draft result framework of IGAD support platform. Several countries, including Chad, Djibouti, Kenya, Rwanda, Somalia, Uganda, and Zambia, have participated in piloting the comprehensive refugee response framework, which is transforming refugee policies and programs in these countries. Rishi Sunak announces a $100 million development package for Somalia, which includes economic development and agricultural projects. The announcement was made by Prime Minister Sunak on the sidelines of the Global Food Security Summit in London on Monday. Somalia President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud is in London to co-host the Global Food Security Summit with UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, the United Arab Emirates, and the Children Investment Fund Foundation. The conference, which is set for Monday in London, will include representatives from government, humanitarian organizations, scientists working on international projects, and specialists in food and climate change. The summit will include a number of sessions centered around climate resilient farming, creative agricultural methods, international collaboration in resource distribution, and aiding nations such as Somalia, which due to socio-political geographical circumstances are at the forefront of fight for food security. The United Nations report that most recent analysis shows between April and June 2023, about 6.6 million people in Somalia were acutely food insecure. The Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office said up to £100 million in humanitarian aid is being made available to nations affected by climate-related weather events like Malawi, as well as those most severely hit by food insecurity, such as Ethiopia, Sudan, South Sudan, and Afghanistan. Somalia's National Disaster Agency reported that floods brought on by intense rains that started in early October killed 50 people and forced over 500,000 people to flee their homes. According to the disaster agency, the intense rains also caused flash floods and landslides in other parts of the country, resulting in destruction of livestock and crops. Somalia enforces ban on 1xBet betting site, previously banned but never implemented, along with TikTok, Telegram. The National Anti-Money Laundering and Counter-Terrorism and Financing Committee cites religious reasons, rather stating gambling goes against the Islamic principles.
The federal government of Somalia has today enforced a ban on the betting site 1xBet. The ban on the popular gambling application was first announced in August of this year but was not yet implemented, along with TikTok and Telegram. The statement released by the federal government of Somalia cited religious reasons for the ban, as gambling is prohibited in Islam. An additional justification for the ban is the spread of gambling addiction in Somalia, particularly among the youth. This, in turn, has had an overall negative impact on Somali society, as the money generated from the application is illicit and untaxed. Earlier this year, in a move aimed at enhancing security and combating terrorism, the Ministry of Communications and Technology of Somalia directed internet service providers in the country to block access to popular social media platforms, TikTok and Telegram, as well as the online gambling site 1xBet. In a country where 60% of the population is below the age of 25 according to the World Bank, the government's decision has sparked anger among the young content creators who have taken to social media to express discontent. The government cited security and moral conduct as reasons for the ban. In recent years, explicit content, including sexual content, was widely posted on Telegram groups, which has made sections of Somalia, a deeply conservative Muslim-majority country, question online safety, especially for unsupervised youths. Also, activities of Al-Shabaab, the Al-Qaeda-linked armed group active in the country for years, has been posted by unknown users on TikTok and Telegram, even as the Somali military has continued an offensive against the group.
Somali Prime Minister Hamza Abdi Barre announced on Tuesday that the federal government has allocated a budget for 3,000 teachers in 2024. The Prime Minister Barre congratulated the Somali teachers, students and the families of the Somali Quran on the commemoration of the Somali Teachers' Day on November 21st.
Somali Prime Minister Hamza Abdi Barre declared that the federal government has set aside money for 3,000 new teachers in 2024. In honor of Somali Teachers' Day on November 21st, Prime Minister Barre congratulated Somali teachers, students and families. Considering it a crucial part of the ongoing efforts to rebuild the country, he stressed, the government places a great deal of importance on developing teachers and educating Somali children. Several months ago, the federal government hired 3,000 new teachers to address a significant education gap. This initiative followed a fourfold increase in the budget of the Somali Ministry of Education for 2023. Since the 1991 civil war outbreak in Somalia, many of the social and economic structures that upheld the country fell apart. The education system took one of the hardest hits, as many educators and qualified professionals had no choice but to flee the country, stripping educational institutions of their authority figures and leaving schools without any formal education system. The effects of the civil war on education are still active today. According to US aid, there is a shockingly low 40% adult literacy rate, naming Somalia as the third lowest in comparison to the other 10 sub-Saharan countries surrounding it.
Lovely viewers, that's all we are prepared for you tonight from our desk here in Mogadishu. I wish to thank my team that made this news bulletin a success. And you are a lovely viewer wherever you're watching us from. Have yourself a lovely night and be blessed.